The time is upon us. It's midterm review time because let's do colonization to the American Revolution. You got note cards, you got note card paper. Let's get rolling, baby. Let's start making some note cards. First note card. Title it The French in North America. Let's talk about those French folks. You know, you had Native Americans in North America. What's the expression? You could say "avi," but you had three other groups, and one of those three were the French. All right, let's go. You know, there's a relatively lower amount of French settlers, which led to better relations with Native Americans. Now, think about this. If you have less French in North America, they need less stuff. And what is the one thing that every French person needs? Land. If you have less, that means they will take less land, and that means that the Native Americans will find them to be less threatening. Okay. Secondly, the primary economic activity was the fur trade. Of course, they did this with Native Americans, so they had to build good relationships with Native Americans, which meant better relations with Native Americans. And they were in Canada and lands west of the Appalachian Mountains. In Canada, lands west of the App Mountains. So let's review, guys. Were there a lot of French people? No. Did they have good relations with the Native Americans? Yes. What did they do? The fur trade. Where do they do it? Canada and lands west of the App Mountains. Are we good? We have that note card done. Ready to do another note card? Let's do another note card. Here we go. Second one. Please title this, Jamestown, baby. Love it. Haven't talked about Jamestown yet, and that is muy importante. Cool. Hey, let's go. First one. Gotta know the year 1607. Jamestown is founded. It's the first permanent British settlement in North America. It's Jamestown. There were other British settlements. They did not last. Jamestown never went away. It was permanent. That's why it's important. And you've got to know the year 1607. Commit that year to your mind. Now, why was Jamestown founded? Well, it was settled by the Virginia Company of London, a business venture seeking profit in Virginia. They were looking for dollar bills. Y'all. Economic activity was the reason that Jamestown was founded. Okay? So, when? 1607. Who? The Virginia Company of London. Why? Business venture seeking profit. Why is it important? It's the first permanent British settlement in North America. All right, we got that one done. Beautiful, good, great, awesome. No Jamestown. Let's do another one. Title this Direct Democracy. We must know about direct democracy. Where did direct democracy come from? It didn't come from Sparta. It came from Athens. And one of our colonial groups practiced direct democracy. Here we go. Practice in New England colonies in town meetings. These town meetings are town hall meetings where all the folks got together and made their vote, made their voice heard. Is a form of direct democracy. Good. Influenced by direct democracy in Athens. This is an Athenian form of direct democracy. All right. Are we good? Good. Let's do another one. Put in Southern society. Let's talk about the society of the South. Let's go to the deep South right now. All right, a couple things for the Southern society. Number one, status in Southern society was based off land ownership and family standing. You had to own a lot of dirt. The good dirt you owned meant the more wealth you had. And the dirt was handed down from your family, from your daddy, and your daddy's daddy. So it comes from family standing. You know, the South maintained a strong allegiance to the Church of England. Their society was rooted in their allegiance to the Church of England. Okay? So it's based off land ownership, family standing, allegiance to the Church of England. Good, great, awesome. Got that down? Go ahead and jot that down, all right? Man, we're making a lot of cards. We're going to study these cards in a second now. Here we go. Next card. Colonial economics. I want to talk about how the different colonial groups made their cash, how they made their money. And of course, our three colonial groups are New England, Middle, and Southern. Those are our New England colonies, Middle colonies, and Southern colonies. Those are our colonial groups. Here we go. Southern colonies had cash crops, baby. The colonial triangle: T, tobacco; R, rice; I, indigo. That is the main staple of the colonial cash crops. Notice there's not any cotton there. Cotton comes later with the invention of the cotton gin. Cotton is not there right now. It's just tobacco, rice, and indigo. Got that? Let's talk about the middle colonies. Here we go. The middle colonies have shipbuilding, farming, and trading. They were close to the water, so they built ships. They got some good farmland in the middle colonies. They had farms. And, of course, in the big cities of the middle colonies, they were doing trading. Cool. You want to do another one? Let's do another one. Let's do New England colonies. Shipbuilding. Yeah, you're in the ship, so you go fishing. You're in a ship. What is it made out of? Wood, lumbering, and farming. Notice that the middle colonies and the New England colonies both share shipbuilding. That's actually a shared economic activity, where the southern colonies is completely farm-based, tobacco, rice, or indigo. Of course, also, if you're in the Shenandoah Valley, more interior of the South, then you're dealing with hunting, then you're dealing with really small farming, trading. But the big economic activity are those cash crops, and then middle of New England has their own. Cool. Oh, finally! It's quiz time, baby. Hey, we made a lot of cards. I want you to take your phone out and set it for 2 minutes for all those cards. And study them. Look at them, flip them. Okay, I got this. And then we're going to take a quiz. What alarm should we set? Should we listen to Sencha? Or Slow Rise? You know what? I agree. We should listen to Sencha. Set your alarm for Sencha. 2 minutes. Get rolling. Hey, and while you pause me, make sure to pause me. What will I be doing? I'll be reading the definitive history of the Civil War. Okay, all right, we ready now? Are you ready? I'm ready. If you're ready, let's go. Let's do this thing. Take out a blank piece of paper. Blank piece of paper. We're going to start numbering the heck out of this. Number it 1. Number it 2. Number it 3. Number it 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to ask you some questions. You do not have to write these questions down. You do have to write the answers down to these questions. You ready to go? Here we go. Number 1. Which European nation had the best relations with Native Americans? There were 3 European nations. Which one had the best relations with Native Americans? Which one was it? Got that answer down? Number 2. What year was Jamestown founded? We must remember the dates. What year? Number 3. Athenian direct democracy was practiced in which colonial group? Which colonial group practiced Athenian direct democracy? There were 3 colonial groups. Which one was it? Number 4. Which church did the southern colonies maintain a strong allegiance to? There was a strong allegiance to southern society to a church. What or which church was it? You guys good? You got that? Hey, let's grade them up. Number 1, which European nation had the best relations with Native Americans? Number 1 is French. Because the French had the fur trade. Because the French had less settlers. They demanded less stuff. Land had better relations. Number 2, what year was Jamestown founded? 1607. 1607 is Jamestown, first permanent British settlement, settled by the Virginia Company of London, the first permanent British colony for economic reasons. Number 3, Athenian direct democracy was practiced in which colonial group? New England colonies and town hall meetings all the way up north is where direct democracy was practiced. Number 4, which church did the southern colonies maintain a strong allegiance to? The Church of England, because Great Britain and the South had strong social ties. Cool. How did you do? Did you do good? You gonna do good on these next ones? Let's go. Make a new card. New card. I want you to title this The Great Awakening. Please title this The Great Awakening. That's what I need from you. Okay? What was the Great Awakening? It was a mid-1700s religious movement which led to the spread of evangelical religions everywhere, such as Methodists and Baptists were on the rise because of the Great Awakening. All right. And it challenged the religious and governmental authorities, especially when you look at the Church of England, because the Church of England is both religion and government. And this Great Awakening led to a split to many religious folks in the colonies between new lights and old lights. Whatever, it's a challenge to more traditional practices of religion. So it's challenging the religion, okay, challenging the government. When will the colonies really challenge the government? That would be the American Revolution, which is why this laid the social foundation for the American Revolution. That is very important. The Great Awakening laid the social foundation for the American Revolution. Are we good? 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 Ready to roll? Let's roll. Let's do another one. Rhode Island. Let's talk about the smallest state in the books. Hey, it was founded by dissenters fleeing persecution from Puritan Massachusetts. That's right, Roger Williams thought differently about religion, about how to treat Native Americans. He was kicked out of Puritan Massachusetts, which shows that Puritan Massachusetts was pretty intolerant. And he founded Rhode Island as a home for dissenters. So like we said, this is an example of Puritan intolerance of dissent. Dissent just means to think differently. And that's what these folks were doing. They had a different view of what should be done in Rhode Island, or in Massachusetts. That's how Rhode Island is founded. Very good, great, awesome. You got it? Let's do another one. F&I War. Let's talk about the French and the Indian War. French and the Indians fought against the British for control, at first, of the Ohio River Valley. You see, number one, it was fueled by the rivalry between the British and the French. You see, the British and the French have hated each other since, me, yeah, Mr. Spicer, forever. And now they're just fighting a different battle in a different location. But, you know, it's the same issues. All right, so what happened? In the 1750s, the Brits were jumping over the Appalachian Mountains, and they were colliding with French and Native Americans in the Ohio River Valley. If you jump over the Appalachian Mountains and you're up around Pittsburgh, you jump into the Ohio River Valley. That's where the French and Indians war. They said, this is our land. The British said, no, we're taking it. So you had an issue, which led to a war. You know, the French will lose the French and Indian War, and because they lost the war, they lose all territory in Canada and west of the Appalachian Mountains. The French lose it all. All their land is gone because of losing the French and Indian War. All right? Why? The British and the French hate each other. Okay? Where? Ohio River Valley. Who lost? The French. What do they lose? All territory in Canada and west of the Appalachian Mountains. Very good. Let's do another one. Let's do a related one. The Proclamation of 1763. The Proclamation of 1763. You know, this was a line drawn over the Appalachian Mountains by Great Britain in order to limit western expansion of settlers. You see, the settlers said, this is our land, we beat the French, let's get it. Great Britain says, no, we're drawing a line on the mountains, don't go over there, we don't want you to go west. It limits western expansion. Why? Because Great Britain feared western expansion would lead to costly wars with Native Americans. If you're constantly fighting against the Native Americans, that costs a lot of money, and Great Britain doesn't want to pay for that money. Write that stuff down. Cool? Hey, are we done? Are we done? Oh, it's quiz time, baby. Hey, I don't know, 1 minute, 2 minute, whatever you want to do. How about signal? Did you hear that? Okay. There it is. Yeah, set it for signal. Maybe 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes. I'll be reading the definitive history of the American Civil War. Okay. Let's do it. Numbered up, guys. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. We're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Ready for some questions? I'm ready for some questions. I'm ready to ask you some questions. Number 1. The Great Awakening laid the social foundation for what? What event happened which laid the social foundation that the Great Awakening laid? Which one was that? Number 2. Who founded Rhode Island? Okay, not looking for a person, looking for the name of the people who did it. It was because of their belief. They were called the belief-based. Cool. Please write that down. Number 3. Who did the British collide with in the Ohio River Valley in the 1750s? Who did the Brits collide with in the 1750s in the Ohio River Valley? Cool. All right, you write that down. Last one. What was the purpose of the Proclamation of 1763? What was the purpose? What was the purpose? What was the purpose? You guys ready to do this? Let's go to number 1. The Great Awakening laid the social foundation for what? Well, the Great Awakening challenged the religious and governmental authorities, which means it laid the social foundation for the American Revolution. Good. Number 2, who founded Rhode Island? People who thought differently. That would be the dissenters. The dissenters who were kicked out of Puritan Massachusetts. Number 3, who did the British collide with in the Ohio River Valley in the 1750s? That would be French and Native American interests. Or just, the French and the Native Americans. French and Indians. I'll take that too. They were over there and then they were fighting over disputed land. Number 4, what was the purpose of the Proclamation of 1763? To limit westward expansion. Hey, you may have said to save money because they didn't want to pay for Indian wars. That's a good thought. Like it. It's correct. The one I'm looking for here is people can't go west. You can't go west anymore because of the Proclamation. Cool. Awesome, great, awesome, good. We're making some note cards. Let's make some note cards. Please put the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment. The Enlightenment. The Enlightenment. The Enlightenment. Here we go. It's a European movement which led to the spread of new ideas about the relationship between rulers and the ruled. It was a European movement, not an American movement. It was in all sorts of different areas. It was in the area of philosophies of government. And there is an idea that, well, let's do things differently. Instead of the king having all the power, let's do things differently, okay? Hey, John Locke was like the Enlightenment dude you need to know. He was a philosopher who wrote about self-government and natural rights. You know, that people have the power, consent to the governed, and he also wrote that, you're born with natural rights, life, liberty, and property, and, they need to be protected by the government, okay? Last thing, Locke greatly influenced Thomas Jefferson in his Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson, when writing the Declaration of Independence, borrows a lot of the ideas from John Locke. So Locke's from the Enlightenment, and Jefferson loves Locke, and he uses his stuff in the Declaration of Independence. Okay, I'm going to the next one. If you're still writing, just pause me. Let's go to the next one. Common sense. What was common sense? Thomas Paine's pamphlet, which listed many grievances against the king. Thomas Paine's pamphlet, which listed many of the complaints against the king. Okay. Very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. Hey, it argued that the colonies should declare independence from Great Britain. Break your ties with Great Britain and become independent. That's what Thomas Paine's pamphlet argued for. Okay? Last one. It influenced Jefferson's Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson, he's like, one section is all natural rights, all theories of government, and that's great. And then there's a whole long section where Jefferson just talks about he has, and the he is the king, and the has are the bad things that the king has done. And he gets all that stuff from Thomas Paine's Common Sense, which encouraged people to break away from Great Britain. All right? Very good. We got that one? Ready to go? Cool. Hey, let's do another one. I think we're doing one more. Let's do another one. Please put Declaration of Independence. Oh, baby, the DOI. Hey, check this out right here. You see this? You get a good look at that? Yeah, you do. That's the signing of the Declaration. Isn't that just beautiful? Oh, I just love it. Hey, who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson, who was influenced by Locke and Paine. He's influenced by Locke's natural rights and Paine's common sense. Okay? Cool? Hey, it states that all men have unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. He lists natural rights, a little bit different than John Locke did, but he still is listing natural rights. Okay? Perfect. Awesome. Hey, here's our quote. Gotta know these quotes, guys. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. You know, he was talking about white men who own property, but later that idea is going to be expanded, and that's part of the reason the Declaration of Independence is so darn important. Okay? Great, 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 awesome. Hey, you need to pause me? Go ahead and pause me. If you're good, because I'm going to the next one. All right, major events of the American Revolution. Here we go. Major events of the American Revolution. Hey, we have a special guest with us today. Dr. Bradley T. Swain is in the house. Mr. Swain, you want to say hi to everybody in the YouTube sphere? Mr. Swain's being very bashful today. Let's talk about the major events of the American Revolution. Here we go. First one. What are the first shots fired in the American Revolution? Well, they were skirmishes. Skirmishes meaning a brief and usually unplanned fight up in Massachusetts at Lexington and Concord. In 1775, on the fields of Lexington and Concord, shots were fired. And it must have sounded something like this. As the shots were fired. That's a big one. Hey, here's one. What is the turning point of the American Revolution? Battle of Saratoga. Battle of Saratoga. Hey, when the Americans win Saratoga, the French say, these guys may actually win the war. And if they're going to win the war, let's send some troops over there to help them win the war. Hey, anytime we have a turning point, we get to listen to epic turning point music. Final battle. Battle of Yorktown. At the Battle of Yorktown, American military was aided by the French Army and the French Navy. You know, I actually have a clip of what was said at the Battle of Yorktown. This is what was said. How do you remember the Battle of Yorktown as the last battle? It starts with a Y. Y is towards the end of the alphabet. Oh, it's quiz time, baby. It is quiz time. So, you know, you might want to set for 1 minute. Maybe you want to set for 2 minutes. You know, set the alarm, right? What alarm? I'm thinking about listening to Silk. Yeah, let's listen to Silk. You set that, and I'll be reading the definitive history of the American Civil War. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. Label 1, label 2, label 3, and 4. Let's do that. Here we go. Question number 1. Which European movement influenced Thomas Jefferson? Thomas Jefferson was influenced by which Euro movement? Number 2. Which 2 beliefs did John Locke write about? Which 2 beliefs did John Locke write about? Cool. Okay. Who wrote Common Sense? What is the name of the person who wrote Common Sense? Very good. Hey, 4. Where were the first shots fired of the American Revolution? The first shots fired of the American Revolution were fired where? Please write down. Please write down your answer. That's what I want is your answer. You guys ready to go? Number 1, which European movement influenced Jefferson? It is the European movement that's known as the Enlightenment, because the Enlightenment was where John Locke came from, and John Locke influenced Jefferson. Number 2, which 2 beliefs did John Locke, there he is, write about? Self-government and natural rights. Everybody has natural rights, and a king should protect them, and the people have the power consent of the governed. 3. Who wrote Common Sense? Thomas Paine. He thought the king was a real pain. Grievances against the king. You read Common Sense. You wanted to break away. 4. Where were the first shots fired of the American Revolution? Lexington and Concord. Lexington and Concord are the first shots fired of the American Revolution. Cool. Great. I think one more set and then we're done. Let's do Patriot versus Loyalist. Patriots versus Loyalist. Hey, if you were a patriot, you believed in complete independence from Great Britain. You wanted to get rid of Great Britain and start your own country, baby. You know, Patrick Henry was a patriot, and he was speaking for all the patriots when he said, "Give me liberty or give me death." We need the liberty to be able to make our own decisions, to have taxation with representation. Oh, and then there are the Loyalists. Loyalists wanted to remain loyal to Great Britain, obvi. You know, they believed that taxation was justified to protect them from Native American attacks. Yeah, taxes, go ahead, whatever. We don't mind paying the taxes. Makes sense, too, is you got to pay money to get protected from Native American attacks. Very good, great, awesome, love it. Get in love with it. Hey, next one. Treaty of Alliance, 1778. 1778. The United States of America cannot beat Great Britain on their own. They're going to need a little help. They get it from France. Ben Franklin is the one who negotiates the treaty. Ben Franklin negotiated a treaty with France during the American Revolution. France agreed to send the Army and the Navy to help America. Wow. Why would France want to do this? What would be their reason for wanting to do this? Well, France was willing to help America because of their dislike/rivalry with Great Britain. They consider themselves to be enemies of Great Britain, so they're going to have no problem helping out America to defeat Great Britain. Beautiful, good, great, awesome. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Looking very good. Let's go to the next one. Oh, quiz time, huh? I think this is the last one for this video. Maybe. Hey, let's do a quick quiz. I think it's only 2-question quiz, or 2-card quiz. Let's do 1 minute for sure. Let's set that timer for Twinkle. Hey, you go ahead and set your timer for Twinkle 1 minute. Pause me. I'll be reading the definitive history of the Civil War. Let's do it. Label it 1, label it 2, label it 3, 4. Man, can we really have 4? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, number 1. Hey, write Patrick Henry's famous Patriot quote. Write that for number 1. And number 2, why do Loyalists believe taxation was justified? Why did the Loyalists believe taxation was A-okay? Please write that one down. Cool. Number 3. Who negotiated the Treaty of Alliance with France? Somebody negotiated the Treaty of Alliance with France. Who was that person? Who was that American diplomat who did that? 4. Why would France want to help the United States beat Great Britain? There must have been a reason they wanted to help the United States beat Great Britain. What was the reason? Okay, you guys ready? Number 1, write Patrick Henry's famous Patriot quote. It is, "Give me liberty or give me death." Let's break free from Great Britain. Those are the beliefs of a patriot. Number 2, why do the Loyalists believe taxation was justified? They believe it was justified to protect them from Native American attacks. They're dealing with that a lot. They want protection, and that'll be fine. 3, who negotiated the Treaty of Alliance with France? Benjamin Franklin. Ben Franklin negotiated the Treaty of Alliance with France. 4, why would France want to help the United States beat Great Britain? Because they're an enemy of Great Britain, which is why they would want to be done with them. Hey, speaking of done, this video is done. Do one more. Study those note cards. Be ready for the midterm. Good luck.